What's good, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the cringiest and weirdest videos from all over the internet. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Hope you enjoy it.
You guys hear about the woman who pushed her fiance off a cliff because she didn't want to marry him? 20-year-old Sia and 26-year-old Katan got engaged in February of this year with plans for a huge wedding in November. On the morning of June 18th, Sia asked her fiance to take her to Lohagarh Fort, which is a popular cliff in India, to shoot their engagement photos. Less than an hour later, he fell 400 feet to his death. Sia claimed that it was windy and that he slipped while taking a photo. But as investigators dug deeper, they realized this wasn't just premeditated. She was married to another man the entire time. It turns out that the same month Sia got engaged to Katan, she also married a 22-year-old man named Chetan. So while her fiance was planning their wedding, Sia and Chetan were planning on how to get rid of him. The day before Katan's death, surveillance footage showed Sia and Chetan at a cafe talking about their plan the next day. On June 18th, while Sia and Katan were taking pictures on the cliff, surveillance footage shows Chetan standing behind them, waiting for Sia's signal to push Katan off. And here's what's even crazier. 4 days before Katan's death, she had already tried to push him off a different cliff. Investigators found over 2,000 phone calls between Sia and Chetan while she was engaged to Katan. They found deleted messages, photos, and multiple Google searches on how to kill someone without leaving evidence. All of this was more than enough to charge them both, but the most chilling part is that when investigators asked her why didn't she just end the relationship, she said killing him felt easier than confronting her family.
I really don't want to make fun of this, but what's going on here? Katan, Shatan, Patan. I mean, how are all your husbands gonna have the first name? I mean, isn't one enough? And second of all, how about you divorce him instead of unaliving him? I mean, it's way more legal and easier. Oh no, I don't want to confront my mom and father. Let me just push him off a cliff and go to jail forever. You're very smart.
Amu Haji was an Iranian man known as the world's dirtiest man for not bathing for over 60 years until right before he passed away in 2022. May Laborde began her acting career at the age of 93 and appeared in things like Pineapple Express and Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's never too late to start. This is a man who in 2015, the Texas police helped to fake his own death, complete with staged grave photos and everything, because they learned his estranged wife was trying to hire a hitman to kill him. This is a 9-year-old boy in 2013 who passed 4 security checkpoints at the Minneapolis International Airport without raising any suspicion, then flew to Las Vegas alone to visit an online friend despite not having an ID or boarding pass and lacking any parental supervision. This was, quote, the lone woman of San Nicolas Island who lived alone for 18 years on this island outside of California from 1835 to 1853. She was the last surviving member of the Nicoleño and the last native speaker of the Nicoleño language. My name's Adorian. Follow me to learn something new tomorrow.
Let's be honest here. That little boy is a legend. I mean, I'm not recommending children to go and do this by themselves. It's very dangerous. But come on. When I was his age, I was scared to drink orange juice by myself. I mean, he's a legend.
She received a voicemail from her father from hell. This has to be one of the creepiest stories you're about to hear, so if you're alone right now, do not listen to this story. A woman shared a very disturbing story that one night she woke up with a missed phone call from an unknown number. Now, of course, like any unknown numbers, we all ignore them and go back to sleep. She started noticing that this specific number would call her and leave her voicemails every single night. There was not one night where she wouldn't receive a voicemail, but every time she would press on it, it would just be static and it would just be like a random voicemail. However, this number stopped sending her voicemails, so she didn't receive any voicemails or any calls for about 2 months. But things got very creepy. A little after 2 months, she then received again another call from the same number that left a voicemail again, and she just decided to like open it the next morning, and so she did. When she opened the voicemail, she heard static, but beneath the static was yelling and crying, and she recognized the voice. In that very odd voicemail, she heard and recognized her father's voice, who had passed away 2 years ago. Now, in this voicemail, she claimed that there was static, yelling, and crying, and she could hear other voices in the background, which absolutely terrified her. When she checked again the phone and everything, she said that nothing appeared in the call log. What would you have done if you had received this voicemail?
Well, that's easy. Smash the phone. That's what I would have done personally. You do you, though. You don't have to copy me.
She cooked her baby in the oven. Nikira Griner was extremely angry because her 23-month-old baby, Daniel, would not eat his breakfast or listen to her. Nikira decided to beat her baby so hard that she left bruises on his face. Nikira beat Daniel so violently and so horrifically that she ended up unaliving her own son. Nikira had broken Daniel's skull into 74 pieces. Daniel had also suffered from fractured ribs and a broken arm. Nikira took Daniel's body and placed him inside of her oven. Nikira then turned the oven on and cooked and baked her own son. Police found Daniel's burned and dismembered remains in the backyard under a shed after Nikira had reported Daniel missing. At Nikira's sentencing, the judge described her actions as beyond comprehension, saying that she disposed of her son like trash. Nikira was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The only word that can really describe Nikira's actions is evil. This woman is evil. But what do you guys think about this case?
I'm sorry, but this is like completely crazy to me. She makes a psychopath look like an angel, basically. My baby doesn't want to eat his breakfast. Oh no, I mean, it's literally baby behavior. I mean, you chose to be a mom. Deal with it. Having patience would have been way better for it. Would have gave you a way better outcome, you know, than the one you chose to go with. Basically baking the child and dismembering him like chicken or turkey on Christmas. I mean, you're pathetic. And it's crazy because if you look at her pictures, you would never think that she was capable of doing these things. But that's the thing, though. Looks, you never know. Looks don't mean nothing.
This bathroom is straight out of a nightmare. This is by far the scariest bathroom in the world, and the real question is, would you use it? Okay, so this bathroom is located in a bar in Japan. And inside this haunting bathroom is a huge head looking at you while you're sitting on the toilet going to the bathroom. The face is then activated by the pressure of the seat, which it would then start singing a drunken song in the creepiest voice you've ever heard as it moves slowly closer to you, making the room smaller and smaller until its lips kisses your knees. I don't know why this is so unsettling and disturbing, but it is. There's just something about sitting on the bathroom and staring directly into this giant face as it's singing and moving closer to you, trying to kiss your knees. So only one question remains. Will you go to the bathroom in this bathroom? My answer is 100% no, because I probably won't even be able to go. And if I had to use the bathroom, I would just shut the lights off so I didn't have to look at it. Why is this a thing, and who came up with this to put this in a bathroom?
When you finish this video, you're going to Google two words. In 2014, two Dutch college students were staying in Panama when they decided to take their host family's dog out for a walk. The dog returned, but the girls didn't. After 10 weeks without any leads, a local woman turned in a blue backpack that contained the girls' cell phones and their camera. Using their call log, they were able to determine that the girls would attempt to reach emergency services 77 times, all unsuccessful, starting just hours into their trip. It was also determined that 5 days after those 77 calls, somebody tried unsuccessfully several times to unlock the girls' phones. But the most distressing thing is what was found on the camera. The first set was taken on the day they left and they were totally normal. The second set was taken in the middle of the night over a week after they had left, and it showed all their belongings neatly laid out on a rock, and it showed one of the girls who appeared to be hurt. They found their remains spread out around the area where the backpack was found, and some of their bones appeared to have been bleached. There is still no official cause of death or explanation as to what happened.
I'm gonna show you two really creepy pictures with backstories. The first one is off of Reddit, and the little backstory goes, I took this photo myself over 20 years ago. I remember I was home alone with my son and he was standing inside his playpen when I decided to take the picture. There was nobody else with us, no visitors, no noise, nothing, just the silence of the house. The weird thing is that long before that picture, I had always had the feeling that somebody was watching me when I was alone. It was that constant discomfort, as if a presence was right behind me, watching over me. I never paid too much attention to it until I developed this photograph. Since then, every time I see it, I can't help but remember that same feeling of being watched, as if the image only confirmed what I had always sensed. This next picture was sent in by one of my followers, and the backstory goes, one night in Germany, my brother and one of his friends were walking and stopped near a church. My brother asked his friend to take a photo of him, and just before the photo was taken, my brother and his friend heard children running and children's voices where they were standing, but they didn't see anyone at that moment. Then, the photo was taken, and the camera captured something strange.
This is the scariest island in the world. It is called Isla de las Muñecas, also known as Island of the Dolls. The legend goes that a young woman holding a doll drowned in the canal nearby. The only man living on this island, Don Julian, started to experience weird events. So terrified, he began to hang thousands of dolls on the island to appease the spirit of the girl.
This afternoon, Bedfordshire Police have released a CCTV image of the man they would like to speak to in connection with the 3 deaths at this property at Great Denham in Bedfordshire. Now, he is 45-year-old Mark Schumer. He is a British citizen with Zimbabwean heritage, and it is believed he has left the country and gone from Heathrow. Bedfordshire Police said that the alarm was raised on Monday afternoon after concerns that a mother and her 2 children had not been seen for several days. So officers came here and forced entry into the property, where they found 3 bodies. Now, formal identification is yet to take place, but police have confirmed to us this afternoon that they believe the deceased are Mark Schumer's wife, Zandale Schumer, and his 2 daughters, Natalie, who was 15, and Nala, who was 5 years old. The police say they are committing all the necessary resources to try and track their suspect, and they're asking anyone who has any information about what happened here to come forward.
This is why you should never enter an abandoned psychiatric hospital alone. This guy explores abandoned buildings and films his explorations, but this time he enters a former psychiatric hospital that has been abandoned for years. After only a few steps, the atmosphere begins to change. The hallways are dark, the rooms are destroyed, and the silence feels overwhelming. Inside an old children's room, he notices a message written on the wall: "Help me, Mom." Just a few meters farther, he discovers another room that feels even more unsettling. A single chair stands in the center, secured with ropes, while dark, dried stains cover parts of the walls. Later, he comes across old medical equipment that barely resembles tools of healing and instead looks like something from a nightmare. Then suddenly, a warning light begins flashing in the hallway. Not loud, but impossible to ignore. Then, out of nowhere, dogs appear. He doesn't stop. He turns around and starts running. But before leaving the building, he opens one final door and sees something that I can't even show here. If you want to see the video for yourself, search for Abandoned Psychiatric Hospital.
Man, I'm not searching for nothing. Why would I do this to myself? First of all, anyone with half a brain would never think about visiting a abandoned psychiatric hospital. Like, think about it, even the people who are admitted in there, the people who literally used to work there, don't want to be there themselves. So why would you want to go visit willingly? Do you?
Four social psychology facts that have changed the way I interact with people. When someone makes eye contact with you and their eyebrows raise a tiny little flash, like 0.5 seconds, it means that they find you non-threatening. If someone doesn't do it, then they're either guarded, they don't trust you yet, or they're trying to assert a sort of dominance. It's one of the fastest ways to determine whether or not somebody is actually happy to see you or if they are just performing. When somebody places their hand flat on an object, they're unconsciously asserting ownership over the space. In meetings, the person who has their hands the widest on the table is likely trying to assert the most authority over the room. And if somebody puts their hands on your belongings, they're subconsciously trying to test your boundaries. 3, every human being has a flash of real emotion before their social mask kicks in. So if you tell someone some good news and their face has a flash or flicker of something other than happiness, that flicker was real. The smile was the performance. When someone touches their neck during a conversation, it's a self-soothing gesture called a pacifier. It means that they're uncomfortable with something that's happening. It could be something you're saying or something they're saying. Watch for this next time somebody tells you a story that feels slightly curated, if you catch my drift. Social psychology is my favorite part of psychology. If you guys couldn't tell, it's kind of all I talk about. So come back for more.
When it comes to me personally, in my personal experience, when people do this to me, they're usually seduced by my presence. I don't think they're trying to assert dominance. And when it comes to her on the screen, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but yes.
Those with disturbing backstories. Just a normal selfie. Her reflection tells everything. Just a normal photo. Who is that? These guys are praying for their murdered teammate, but they didn't notice that the murderer was in their team. Sam Kunan, preparing for a rescue. He then suffocated after rescuing 13 people. Cute couple. This woman is dead. Just a random selfie. They got hit by a train. After this, Apollo 1 astronaut praying as a joke. None of them made it back to Earth. A soldier smiling in the trenches. This is the result of a shell shock, a state of borderline insanity. Just a picture of James Dean with his Porsche. After that, he died in a worst car accident.
Scary things hidden in photos.
Just a wedding happening. There are cults. Just a family photo. There's a reflection of ghost in the mirror. A girl standing beside her sister's grave. Her sister might be came for a picture. Picture of bride and a groom. Just look at his shoes. Just a normal family photo. Who is that? Just two friends chilling. Who is she? Just a normal photo. When you see it.
These are the last known images of a woman before she disappeared off a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. Rebecca Coriam was a 24-year-old woman from Chester in the UK. She loved animals and previously had a job working at Chester Zoo. She worked at Camp America before landing her dream job on a Disney cruise ship in 2010. She seemed to really like the job and many envied her cruises to the Bahamas. Now, unfortunately, while she was working on the ship, her granddad actually passed away, so she had to go back to the UK and spend some time with her family. They had no idea it would be the last time that they would ever see her. Back on board on the 22nd of March 2011, Rebecca and her crew were heading to Mexico. She sent her last ever message to her parents on Facebook. She told them that she would just ring them the following day. At 5:45 a.m, Rebecca was captured on CCTV making a phone call. She looked concerned and appeared to be wearing a man's shirt. When she failed to show up for her shift at 9 a.m, her colleagues were worried. No one could find her in her room or anywhere actually on board. An early unverified account from a member of staff claimed that she'd gone overboard at around 3 a.m. However, this was obviously disproven when they looked at the CCTV. In the surveillance footage, she was using one of the ship's internal phones in a crew area. A man walked up to her and seemingly asks if she's okay, to which she seems to reply, "Yeah, I'm fine." She then walks off and she's never been seen again. Now, it's reported that the search for Rebecca was flawed right from the start. Rebecca's family state that the captain gave searchers the wrong coordinates. As well as theories of Rebecca being swept overboard by a wave, there are also theories about her personal life. In 2017, one colleague named Tracy claimed that she'd had a relationship with Rebecca and that Rebecca was confused about her sexuality. This, however, has never been verified. Some people believe that the company may know what happened to Rebecca but have tried to cover it up to prevent legal action. Rebecca has now been missing for nearly 13 years.
You know, I've always hated cases and stories like these. Because like it's creepy and like there's nothing worse than not having a clear answer, you know? And it's been 13 years. Like, don't you just hate it? Like, we will never know. Isn't that creepy? It's creepy to me. Anyways, your episode is now officially over. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.